Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope we meet you well. Okay, quite a number of issues out there in the polity, and let's grab hold of one of them. About 5 days or so, Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River crossed over to, no, I didn't name that, of Cross River crossed over to the APC. He was warmly received, and some statements were made there that sort of caught attention. Among them, in welcoming him, was that, you know, welcome, and you're free to, you know, aspire to any office in the land. And now, this is part of the welcoming, you know, sort of thing to him, but it did sort of strike a chord because depending on who you are, it is thought that in APC, even though no official announcement has been made, they have a pretty good idea of who, you know, would indeed be presented or who that aspirant would be. Now, I have a couple of gentlemen in the studio here to discuss the whole matter with me, because there are those called the progressive governors in the APC, and there is a gentleman's agreement within the APC as to how they should pursue their roadmap. Well, Mohammed Bello Mustafa is a lawyer and political affairs analyst. We have him on our program today. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Mohammed Mustafa, he's a two-time contestant between 2014 and 2018 to the office of National Secretary of the APC. Yes. You know, and as a matter of fact, he used to be in the CPC with incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari.
Sure.
I think you were, what, leader of the youth leader at the time. Okay, and then we also have our friend, Comrade Ayodele Adewale, well, political affairs analyst, but we all remember as chair of Muodofin local government. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Okay. Now, this whole matter of a gentleman's agreement, that is to say, power would rotate between the North and the South. Now, that still is the case within the APC, but when Governor Ayade crossed over and the statement was made that anybody could aspire to any office in the land, let me start with you, if I may, Barrister Mohammed. Did that shake, if not upset the apple cart within the thinking, the political thinking within APC?
Well, before I go to the question, I think it's necessary for me to condole the entire country, particularly the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, over the loss of our gallant military officers last Friday. The Chief of Army Staff, who happened to be our age bracket, a young man, a young person, and his colleagues, unfortunately, you know, in a plane crash, died on Friday. I want to seize this opportunity to condole Mr. President. Yeah. And the military and the entire people of this country over this tragic event. Sure. May the souls of the departed rest in peace.
Amen.
Now, back to the issue you raised. It is pertinent to note at this point that there was a gentleman agreement or an understanding within the party hierarchy when the party came on board during 2013, 2014 to be precise, that the power or leadership of the country, both from governance and from the party, should rotate between the North and the South. I am of the view, personally, I believe in, you know, keeping promises. It's part of being gentleman, and you can only be a man of integrity and honor when you honor your, you know, agreements. So the agreement is or was and is still enforced that power should rotate, meaning the presidency now, the North having is short. It will go back to the South, and the leadership of the party, the chairmanship of the party, should go back to the North. However, the party constitution left it open for everybody to contest. But that gentleman agreement is still there.
It's still there.
And for us to have that bond of unity and understanding to exist and flourish, and for the party to have the presidency or to retain the presidency beyond 2023, I think these kind of agreements should be respected.
Okay.
Like I said, the party constitution left it open, and everybody has the right to contest.
Okay. Which, Comrade Ayodele, is a position being emphasized reportedly by some northern governors, if there's any such thing as a northern bloc within the APC. They're beginning to emphasize what has just been pointed out, that, well, actually, the gentleman's agreement is what it is. But on our books, our constitution, it's, you know, that agreement has not been codified and cannot be cited as a constitutional provision.
Well, I also join my colleague and the nation to condole the families of the fallen heroes, and of course to strengthen the president and all Nigerians to be strong in this time of our challenge, especially as we lost those gallant military men. Moving forward, I want to appreciate the position of Mr. Mustafa, Alhaji Mustafa, because he was also a gubernatorial candidate of the CPC then in Yobe State.
No, in Taraba.
In Taraba State.
Yes.
Taraba State. And I think that for him to have been the youth leader of the CPC then, he was also part of the fleshing up of the APC. APC is a party of different interest groupings that came together to form that party. And within that process, there were discussions, there were agreements. And many of these agreements could not have been written. Otherwise, the documents would have been too cumbersome. So I think that was why that part that he mentioned was left open. But that is not to rule out that an agreement can also be on the basis of understanding and on the basis of what we have discussed, and some of it can be put together in a document. But we should not also forget the line of discussion, that we allow power to move from the north down to the south in order to carry everybody along. If you remember during the confab, that some people were also championing that we have 6 vice presidents, each of them to represent the 6th geopolitical zone. And some people felt that to make governance too heavy, that we should allow it the way it is, but have that understanding that we should allow the pendulum to swing equitably. And looking from that, I think it's naturally right for people who came together on the basis of agreement to respect that gentleman agreement, that the North is having it now, the southern part of Nigeria be allowed among themselves to also have the opportunity to produce who becomes the next president of Nigeria and who continue with the development of this country.
Well, even though, you know, on a program like this, this is not the time for campaign. We're not in the campaign season yet. But I can say that you indeed aspire to be the national chairman of the ruling party when that particular time comes, or you've put the party on notice, right? Now, among your philosophy, your idea is that it is time for leadership to shift to if not the youth, younger people? I don't know. You sort of tell me about that. Is it with the youth? Is it with the younger people? And because there's I think you gentlemen, both you gentlemen sitting here, there's a sense in which you are not disconnected from the youth. I don't know if you...
I'm an adult. I'm no longer a youth.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're talking about younger.
At almost 50, we are no more youth.
But you still...
Even our party constitution, we always refer to our party constitution. Says that when you are more than 40, you are no more youth.
Okay, so you're no more a youth. Therefore...
But we are young people. Yes.
Yeah,
those in between the older generation and the youth.
And you think that the time for a transition has come?
Yes.
Is that right?
Sure.
Explain that to me a bit.
All right.
Because is it all about fresh legs? What about the experience that has been the traditional sort of reason you normally look towards, senior people?
Let me tell you, based on, our consultations made so far, we have gone around the country in more than 20 states, consulted widely with the youth and younger generations, younger than those in power today.
Okay.
Meaning our, age brackets.
Yes.
That's why I was telling you about these young men that we lost. We felt it's more than any other, generation. Now, what we are saying is, look at how the young officers have started picking up the challenges of the country from the security aspect.
In the mantle of leadership.
And the mantle of leadership. This to tell you that we have a lot in stock for this country. We have a lot of fresh ideas, big ideas, initiatives and innovations to make things happen in this country. And let me tell you that now, if the young generation of Nigerians are given the chance to lead the party, or all parties, not only our great party, but across the party line, all the parties should give the youth the chance to take the leadership so that they will steer the party affairs for greatness. Let us start from somewhere. If a young man is being given an opportunity to serve, you will see the enthusiasm in him, the readiness to work in the best interest of the country.
Are you talking about fresh ideas?
Fresh ideas.
Fresh ideas as
yes,
well.
And initiatives.
Let me ask, Comrade, is there, first of all, assuming that you agree with what, the position he's just taken, is there any pushback that will need to be addressed? Because ordinarily it seems like it's an okay idea, but that is, as I said, ordinarily.
Well, I come from a school of thought that you don't achieve greatness just lying down. And you must contest for power. You must wrestle for power. And like I saw Bola Tinubu will always say that power is not served a la carte. You must show that you need power. But the next question is, what do you want to make do of this power? And that is when what he said comes to be, fresh ideas. We've had so many ideas. Well, let's have fresh ideas, especially in the political party. All across the party. The party should be a ground where brains are harvested, where leadership are groomed, where people are trained for a purpose, where you don't have accident of history coming to gain power. And when they gain power, you now see them, just misbehaving in power. Because how can you phantom that somebody comes up and say you want to sack 7,000 workers? I don't believe anybody is useless. It is the competence, the capacity. You must put square pegs in square holes. If the person is not fit for this purpose, as the leader, you must create an opportunity, create that capacity, improve on their ability, and put them where they will be useful. That should be the work of the party.
Well,
during pre-independence, you find out that during the Awolowo era, in the action group, the party created platforms where their representatives in various ends of affair do go to meet in a retreat, particularly at the Kennedy when Awolowo was there. They discuss. And the submission of their discussion each of them take away to their various angles and implement. They could do that then. Perhaps they had fresh ideas, and young brains. So we should give opportunity for that to happen in our party.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mohammed Mujabile Mustafa, APC is seen, and it calls itself, people see it as a party of progressives.
Yes. Sure.
So,
yeah.
So are you now beginning to doubt that particular nomenclature, or not so much doubt it, but feel that the whole definition of it, the way it is going on in the party, needs to be finer tuned?
I have absolutely no doubt in our party being progressive, because we are progressive-minded people. That is there. But what we are saying is that there's nothing permanent like change. Dynamism. We need to put things rightly at times.
Okay.
Yes.
And as in all situations, you've noticed instances of some people maybe not being that enthusiastic about change.
You see, yes. You see, our party has a manifesto. Like he rightly said, like the comrade said, we have a manifesto. That's why I said, if a leader of the party mean well and is ready to work, there's certain cardinal principles that you must work with. A chairman of the party or leader of the party must make sure that all the promises made to the people before the people, got convinced and cast their votes for you or for the party has an obligation to make sure that those promises, are kept and must see the light of day. That is one. Two, there must be discipline within the party hierarchy. There must be supremacy of the party, so that party can say, Mr. A, Mr. B, you are not doing it rightly, do it the way we promise our people that we are going to do it. There must be such a person that will say, they'll keep reminding those in power, those in position of power and authority, to be, wary of certain things that we have promised the people, so that when we come back to the people to seek their votes or mandate again, they will gladly, give it back to us again to continue. So all I'm trying to say is, there must be within the party, there must be internal democracy, which today you can't find within so many of our parties.
Your party in particular.
Yes.
APC, it has long been a complaint of party faithful. This is not from opposition.
Yes.
This particular aspect that you touch on, I don't know, maybe...
what is missing? Let me quickly finish.
Because I like you touched on two aspects, party supremacy and party discipline.
Party discipline.
I'd like to stay on that for a while.
Yes, party has to be supreme. Party should be the police within the party to say, Mr. A, you're not doing it rightly, please, can you,
correct your course.
Yes, make some amends and do it rightly. If someone refuses, as a party, you must have machinery, discipline. Discipline doesn't mean punishment.
Okay, I understand.
You must transform people. You make them better people than they appear. Okay. If they go wrong, bring them to back to the right track by making sure that they are transformed from this position of theirs today to another or a better position tomorrow, by making sure that they do the right thing. And let me tell you another thing. You see, these parties, we must observe what is called, a reward system and inclusion. We must include everybody. Everyone must be given a sense of belonging. The women folk, the youth or the younger people, everybody must be carried along and must be given that sense of belonging. Okay. So that everybody will give in the best of his.
I hear you.
Then finally, the reward. People have toiled for the party to be what it is today. People must be rewarded in accordance with their contributions. Okay. Some have contributed immensely. Some have, however little contribution people made, then people must be recognized and be rewarded, so that when next So that when next the party comes back to the people, that's what I always think of.
Okay.
When the party comes back to the people will gladly embrace them and give them another mandate.
Before I go to Comrade Ayodele
Yes.
again,
Yes.
Izo has called in from Aja. Good morning, Izo.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and your guests.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's Ma.
Okay, good morning, ma.
Yes, Uncle Yori. Yes. Since nobody can come into government without a party, there should be party supremacy. Party should have a voice. According to your guest there, he sent the right thing. If you go and seek vote and promise people, this is what we will do, you follow up step by step and see if they have done it, so that the people will remember, because not always you will fool the people. Because APC told Nigeria 2015 that they are going to restructure. Up till now, nobody wants to restructure. Now look at the issue we are having. Yesterday I was weeping when there are still farmer and elder clashes. If we restructure this country according to their promise, by now nobody will be killing each other. The farmers will know their boundary. The elders will know their boundary. If the people that come to speak for our vote are really serious about this country, we will not be finding ourselves. Now people are saying APC is the same thing with PDP. PDP is this. We don't want to hear that. If they promise, if they want to do things, they can do it. But it's like anybody go to there, they will deviate from what they promise the people, and it's not helping us as a country.
Okay.
If they really want to do it as a party, they should look at what their manifesto. Where have we gone to so far? Why everybody deviating from what they promised the people? That is why we are where we are. We are worse, because you cannot be living doing the same thing at the same time. Things is not going well because the party, they are not taking responsibility of what they promised the people. If you promise people, no, look at what PDP did not do it well. You that have taken power, you are going almost 8 years on power, and you have not restructured. You have.
Okay, Madam Izo, thank God you got most of your message across. Now let me, we'll go to Comrade Ayodele. I don't know, first of all, if you want to speak on it, because it sort of is connected with what I wanted to ask you about, which is what Mohammed Bello Mustafa had been speaking about, issues of party supremacy, party discipline, and the reward system. Now, Madam Izo in there was saying that these are things, these are ideas, notions that the electorate, the people out there had before APC came on board, and APC was it gave people reason for optimism. But since here we are 6 years in, and as Madam Izo was saying in there, some of those things that we sort of took for granted are not anymore. So would you like to look at that within the context of the party supremacy, party discipline, and indeed the reward system that he spoke about?
Remember I talked about grooming. If you have a system and that system does not groom its members, or you have a society that has a culture and members of those society or that society are not groomed to understand the culture and norms of that society, they are likely to always go wrong in collusion with the laws and norms and tradition of that society.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about party supremacy. The supreme document in Nigeria is the Constitution. No matter your guidelines, either local government, state government, or whatever, or private sector guideline, it cannot be above of the Nigerian Constitution.
Sure.
So at that corner, we say that the supreme document for Nigeria is the Constitution. Now, narrow it down to party. The supreme document for the party is the party constitution, or you could say the party manifesto.
Yes.
Now, in that document, you have for the administration of the party, which again, different provision as concerns membership, as concerns funding, as concerns operational guidelines, and as concerns punitive measures, and as concerns other matters. Now, you have the document. You are now allowing inflow or influx of membership. The first thing should be orientation. You are a member. This is our document. Now, on receiving that document, it is presumed that you read the document. You understand your limits, your powers, and you understand the extant law of that document, the supremacy of that document. Now, if you accept that document, it means you have surrendered your sovereignty to that document.
Well, okay.
You surrender your sovereignty to the party.
Sort of like
whatever that comes out of your activity within that party, that document goes supreme.
Yes.
Yes, and it's like this. It's like receiving a document that shows that this is how we roll in this party.
Thank you.
To borrow the language of the youth. This is how we roll in this party, and if you accept it, by all means, you're welcome as a member. But whether people are accepting it, we'll come and talk a bit more, because you brought up the whole matter about orientation. Okay, but I've been holding on to John in Plateau State, and I don't want to lose him. So I'll return to you after John. Good morning, Mr. John in Plateau.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead quickly, please.
I'm calling from Plateau State.
Yes.
Good morning to the young gentleman with you over there.
Good morning, Mr. John.
We have a lot of issues, bothering us in this country. So we concerned about the APC convention or whatsoever. The young man sitting by your right hand side, is it too old to rule this country? We have so many things bothering us. APC is not our problem. APC, PDP, they belong to the same WhatsApp group. You see them switching from, today they switch from PDP, tomorrow APC, they switch to PDP. They are just, the problem we have in this country is injustice. The young man sitting close to you there, he sounds so intelligent. Is it too old to rule this country? No, but tomorrow you find these old people coming back over and over again. During the time of Obasanjo, what was Atiku supposed to do that he's coming up in 2023 or whatsoever to do for us? For the past how many years, what has the APC government done for us? What are they doing to convince us for us to re-elect them?
Okay, John. I want to thank you for calling in and return because I had to interrupt you.
Yeah, I understand.
For John. You're talking about this sort of orientation, which you think seems to be an issue. Now, the way APC was formed, there was a time when you couldn't spend far too much time on minute details. There was a time when you were just, looking for numbers. So you can imagine that would have been a casualty, of this whole matter about, orientation and this is how we do. Can you be inducted in as a member? And the fallout of it is probably what we have now. Mrs. Madam Izzo said that she is not particularly, happy about the notion that people are saying APC and any other party, they're all the same. She believes that the APC, by virtue of its documentation, its, the grand norm and all of that, needs to stand for what it says it is.
Yes.
Well, my narration, or my narrative, was not only to the APC. My narrative was to the Nigerian state. Any party that comes out from the Nigerian state will always have these challenges. Because the Nigerian society needs a system that will groom, not only in politics, but in other spheres of human life, including business and what have you. So the narrative was not just to APC, it was to everybody.
Okay.
But now we go back to the APC. What we are saying is that the gentleman agreement must be respected. Okay. There are some countries where
that the party entered into with his constituents.
Thank you. There are some countries whereby you have written constitution. Some have unwritten constitution, but they know that there's an agreement on how they are going to live and operate their system. So we are saying, beyond written or unwritten, there was an understanding. And that understanding was what binded everybody together. Moving forward, we are also pushing. We are not begging that young people in the party must take a role to play. And we are not saying give it to us like a meal ticket. We are going to contest for it.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, we are going to play active role in the leadership of the party.
Okay. Bobby in Jalingo, Taraba. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Obiori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Sir, let's just stop beating about the bush. Obiori, the truth of the matter is the present political structures that we have in this country don't use the ideologies or the concept of what they have on ground. What they normally do is, if they are coming on board, they will come with different kind of promises, but immediately if they step into power, all things that they promised from the beginning will stop. And let me tell you one funny thing. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. If only we can go back to the previous days of the GNPP, the MPN, the MPP, the PRC, this political parties of this present country is totally in shambles. It's only God that will save us, and keep doing your job, and it's only God that will actually save us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. You know, and at this stage, before we continue, we'll take a quick break. Stay with us, please. We won't be gone for long. Okay, welcome back. And, you know, my guest this morning, Mohammed Bello Mustafa, lawyer and political affairs analyst. He's also, you know, quite active within the APC and the political circle, has contested twice for office of the National Secretary in 2014 and 2018. And I think he's still interested in that. But we're not on a campaign trail today. And then there's also Comrade Ayodele Comrade Ayodele Adewale, seasoned politician from Lagos and political affairs analyst. Now, two people have called in, well, more than two, but I'm remembering Madam Izo, who called in from Ajah, and I think Bobby from Jalingo. Yes. Bobby, you seemed a bit disillusioned about the performance of APC. In fact, he started off by being angry and said, let's stop beating about the bush. Madam Izo said that she decries the situation where the APC, you know, is not distinguishable from any other party. Now, all of this is not music to your ears. These are not the ideas you want people to have. In fact, if I get it right, you gentlemen are saying that, look, there's a wealth of talent, there's a wealth of skill in the younger elements within the party, and they need to begin to assert themselves. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Commenting on Bobby, if you wanted to.
Yes, I want to comment on Bobby, my brother, who called in from my home state. Okay. I want to allay his fears. I want him to stop being in this, you know, situation of disillusion. All I'm trying to say is that is the more reason why we want the space to be given to us. You only, you know, seek change.
When you say us, you're talking about
we, the younger
elements, the younger people within the party.
Yes. What we are asking for is a space, an opportunity. And that will not come, you know, because it's not going to come on a platter of gold.
Because he just said,
he said it.
We don't even want
power doesn't come a la carte.
Yes, we are not even asking for it to be given to us on a platter of gold. We are going to contest.
But so it's like you're serving notice.
I am contesting for the national chairman. Others are contesting other offices. And I want to assure you that we constitute the largest segment of the society. We are going to cast these votes for ourselves, and we will emerge victorious. Okay. All we are saying is that we are not fighting the older generation where they have done their best. And
is it enough?
From what
is it enough?
It's not enough.
Okay.
That is why we need to be given a space so that we will bring our own ideas, fresh ideas, which will, you know, give the party.
And you're going to have to fight for those ideas.
Of course,
but then maybe not, if they are progressive ideas. I don't know. But in the meantime, Mr. Lawale Nikorodu has been holding on. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Professor Yori Folari.
It's just Yori. Thank you very much for calling in.
And good morning to the two gentlemen there.
Yes.
Good morning.
It's just general comment. If you compare the present parties we have with the parties we have in the 70s, the concept of party supremacy, party loyalty, party discipline and commitment to party programs were paramount. But nowadays, what we have is party indiscipline, party impunity, party recklessness, and party imposition across both PDP and APC and all other political parties. And thirdly, I will appreciate if they give the youths with their digital knowledge opportunity to rule this country. Things will be different. God bless you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So you also, as it were, signing on to the position of the two gentlemen that without prejudice to what has gone before, the youth, the wealth of talent, and the assets needs to be taken advantage of. And you just said that you realize nobody's going to be inviting you in, and so it's like you're saying maybe the time has come to invite ourselves in and prove our case.
Well, that is our thought. But we are also very oblivious of the fact that the older the wine, the better its taste.
Okay, you're not oblivious of that.
Of course, we are not oblivious of that fact.
Okay.
That the older the wine, the better its taste.
That's about, are you talking about experience there?
In terms of experience, in terms of exposure, in terms of social realities of life.
Okay.
You cannot take it away from the old people.
So let's be pragmatic about that.
We're very pragmatic and we're very realistic. But what we are saying,
when you say old people,
the older generation,
you mean just the
controllers of the system.
Oh, okay.
You understand? We are very much cognizant of that fact. But what we're saying is that we also need fresh energy, new realities, contemporary new realities. And that is the only thing that can take us out of this doldrum.
Not at odds necessarily with the elders within the party.
No.
Right?
They are not across borders. No.
Not necessarily across purposes.
No.
But it's just that, it's like, if I get, Mohammed right, it's like taking our fair share. We're members here. We're members, we're partners. Everybody, we're working together.
I wouldn't want us to look at it from the perspective of taking our fair share.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
We're looking at the perspective of blend, having a blend.
A better blend. Okay, when you said blend, I was just thinking of, a cup of tea. And, you put some milk in.
You can have coffee, you put some milk, it becomes a cappuccino.
You put some milk in. So the amount of milk now, maybe that's where the blend is coming. If you put just 2 or 3 drops of milk, it is what it is. But you're saying that if I was lacking the youth through the milk, you need to put more milk in there.
Definitely.
You need to get a creamier tea, or is it coffee or whatever.
Thank you.
We need a creamier tea. I can see you're nodding in appreciation of that, particular diagram.
Yes.
But it sort of says what it says, right? That there is no issue really with the leadership, and by extension that really means the elders, but that talent that has not been recognized now needs to be done so in keeping with the times. These modern times require modern means, right?
We need to harvest more potential that are at the base point of the pyramid.
Has this process...
Can I come in?
Oluwayemisi from Maripo has called in. Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you and good morning to your guests.
Good morning to you too. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just want to force some little statements made by the young man in quotes that said we should give the room for...
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Mr. Mustafa, or are you talking about Comrade Adiwale?
I'm talking about Comrade Adiwale.
Okay.
Yes. The youth have failed us in several ways. Look at some states that tried evil young people. Was Ipori an old man? He wasn't. He was in charge of the whole state. He practically rooted the whole thing in their treasury. So what are we talking about? Look at the present governor, his aide, Mustafa. Look at what we have just done. Is it Rufai, or what is it Rufai they call him, or what is it, the aide to the present governor of Ogun State? See what he has done in America. So in most times you can go on and on like that Most times when you give these youth opportunity, they bungle it. So we don't really trust them. The people we test, even no matter your age. Look at this man, Joe Biden. Is he not an old man? It's not about age. Let's try and have that good orientation. Let's have that value. Once you have that value, it does not matter your age. When you get there, you behave well.
Okay, so Oluwayemisi, let me get it right. Are you saying that you would rather the status quo, continues?
I'm not saying the status quo should continue. What I'm saying is that get good hands. It does not matter the age. That's why I gave the example of Joe Biden now. He's an old man, but he's doing well. So you can even also get younger people too that we equally do well, but don't generalize by saying it has to be youth. Let the youth take over. The youth that are taking over to find their various states have not been
the youth, this terminology used self, the youth are younger people than we are currently used to, I imagine. But thank you very much for calling in, Madam Oluwayemisi.
If I'm allowed to respond.
Yes, because she particularly directed some of her commentary.
I love our opinion, but again, we did not narrow the discussion along our thoughts. No, we are not saying give the youth. We're not also saying limit it to the elderly people. But we're saying allow fresh ideas. We are saying harvest good ideas and have a blend. Yes, if you look at the demography of some youth who particularly have challenges, bring a question mark to whatever they've done, and that does not mean that we don't also have a lot of youth that have done excellently well. If I want to start, calling names now, we won't leave here. But I'll use myself as an example. And I will ask her, Madam, please go to your YouTube, type Comrade Ayodele Adewale Positive Impact. YouTube, Comrade Ayodele Adewale Positive Impact. You're going to see a documentary of my activity while I was chairman of Amu Wardorf in local government. After that documentary, you can base your assertion. Okay, I hear you. You also wanted to come in on that because she did make some statements that she doesn't think the youth as so-called or younger people. I have a problem with youth. Because you talk about youth, people get this notion of something 18 to 25. Yes. Your party describes it differently. Youth is what? What's your party's official definition of the youth range?
The youth in, if I'm
up to 50?
Right? No,
it doesn't.
The youth is 36, from 36.
The ceiling there.
35, I think. 18 to 36.
Okay. So we're not talking of the youth in particular. That's why I said younger people. Younger people. But yes. People seem to have a
I think I need to say something about what she has raised.
Okay, let me please hold your thought, because let me bring in Kesandu, so that way you can comment on both.
All right.
Good morning, Mr. Kesandu. Thank you for calling in.
Uncle Yuri, I greet you. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, brother.
Personally, I'm a Nigerian youth, and the truth about it is that we have not gotten our place in the scheme of things. Truth be told, if APC as a party, though I'm not a member of the party, that if APC as a party has projected or had projected or presented what is happening today as a manifesto, they wouldn't have gotten up to 1,000 votes. But if there are certain youth that are still in the party, who still believe in the manifesto that actually convinced millions of Nigerians to vote for the president in the two occasions, that means they can actually change the scheme of things. Let me tell you, like Mr. Dewale said, it is high time we stop this issue of, in fact, we're coming to take this thing, nobody's going to give it up, and we actually believe it. The truth about it is that it's high time the youth stop relying on this is the youth wing of the party. No, let us go there and contest for the post of the chairmanship of these various political parties. I want to generalize it. Because we, these people, unfortunately, our fathers, to a large extent, have done their best, but their best is not a good enough. But some of us, the younger people, we believe so much in what we have, and we believe so much that we can have value, we can add value to this country. And that's why I'm encouraging the youth all over the political parties. Let us go, contest, belong, do everything humanly possible to be part of the decision making. Because these people, when they made the decision, it affects us. So it is like that we came out in mass
to contribute our quota towards the development of this country. And unfortunately, we don't have independent candidature. So the way to contribute this our quota is to go there, participate actively in the political party activities.
Okay.
And please, our elders should actually help us, because some of us, when they skyrocket the prices of some of these things, probably nomination prices, it affects us. They should bring it down. Let us come and tell them what we can actually offer. And I bet you, most youths are ready to contribute to our quota towards the good growth and development of this thing in our country. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much for calling in. You had wanted to come in, so I just want to allow you to say what you wanted to say, because I was going to sort of remind us that we're coming from Ben Ayade crossing over to the APC.
Yes, we'll come to that, I think.
Yeah, because this is really like the home stretch. We're almost done.
Yes. So I want to go back toward second to the last caller.
Okay.
Said about the youth having failed. You know, but even though
is that
Comrade Adewale has responded,
okay.
But I think
that was...
I will have 1 or 2 points to make here. I want her and all Nigerians to understand that at this point or material time in our life, we need both the young or younger generation, as you said, and the old. We need the energy.
And the older.
The older, okay, the older generation.
So we don't want the party of geriatrics.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So, no, but you know, as he said, Joe Biden is an old man, so that's why I'm cutting her. So, what we are saying is we need the energy of the youth, the talent, the ideas being fresh, because they're coming from fresh brains. You know,
but it's all of
excuse
this,
me, and the wisdom.
Is all of this bad
of the older
in the
generations.
APC currently? APC has meetings upon meetings upon meetings upon consultations upon gatherings upon conferences. Are there no inputs from them?
Yeah, there are. Like I said, I always say that Mr. President, under his watch, he's doing his best. He has done, and he is doing his best to make things happen in this country positively. But what we are saying is we need more hands, fresh ideas from the youth. We need the fresh talents, the initiatives, the innovations to drive these things rightly.
Okay, in terms of my cup of coffee analogy, a creamier
thank you.
Cup of
Thank you.
coffee.
Thank you. And see, we need both. I'm saying I want to like expatiate. We need both the energy of the youth and the wisdom of the older generations.
You know, I hear you,
so
but
together.
I'm at risk of losing Monday in Abuja, who has been holding on all this while. Good morning, Monday.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling. Quickly, please.
Thank you. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the two young men who are calling, who are speaking with you as your guest.
They're not particularly young. I mean, none of them is going to claim 36.
I think I want to appreciate the two comrades.
Okay.
who are speaking right there.
All right. They're just younger.
Especially the lawyer there is a fellow comrade, Mustafa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Atimonde is actually the name. Let him contact me after the show. Appreciate them. Appreciate their effort.
Yes.
Who are working hard for a greater Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Mustafa, contact me. It's Atimonde.
All right.
Okay.
I will.
Interesting
he's
use.
A comrade too.
Okay, he's also
in NANS.
Okay,
he's also National Association of Nigerian Students.
Now, where we started, we probably can roll it back to there. The whole idea of apparent shift by statements upon Ben Ayade arriving the party that reportedly some governors are now saying that, you know, let it, in spite of the gentleman's agreement that exists, as a matter of fact, it can come from anywhere. And that seems to be rubbing some people the wrong way, because we've tried to, you know, at least talk on party supremacy, party discipline, indeed reward system. But now some governors, allegedly in the north, are saying that it can come from anywhere. We don't need, and it's not written. So maybe you could just end on that note. How much of a hiccup do you think this is causing?
Well, as far as I am concerned, and what I said earlier, I still stand by it, that there was an understanding, an agreement reached by party faithfuls in 2013/2014 that power, meaning the presidency and the leadership of the party, should rotate between the north and the south. If you remember, then the chairmanship of the party was from the south, and the presidency, the president of the presidential candidate of the party from the north. Now, we're about, completing 8 years. And I want to assure that that lady, that woman that called...
that is Izo from Aja,
yes,
Madam Izo
that
from
I want
Aja.
to assure her that with the resolve of Mr. President and his team, by the special grace of God, all those promises will come to pass and shall see the light of day.
I'm going to see if I can quickly get... I'm sorry, I've got to see if I can quickly get Mubarak, who called in from Maiduguri. Mubarak, we lost Mubarak already, and we've run out of time. But I wanted to bring the question back to Comrade in closing.
Don't you think it's good I say a word or two?
You have been saying more than 3 or 4.
Okay.
But okay, if you wanted to say something, please say something so that I can get the last word from Comrade as well. Say something, in the next 30 seconds, please.
All right. This issue has always been the burning issue, that power should rotate. You see, in the spirit of unity, we need this unity at this point in our lives. The unity and, indivisibility of this country is paramount, is sacrosanct.
Okay, I think that's a fine place to leave it. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Comrade, did you want a last word on this whole matter?
Well, my last word on the subject will be that we welcome Mr. Ben Ayade and his team, and we also hope for more of Mr. Ben Ayade and his from other states,
from other parties,
to come join the APC. Okay. But while they are coming in, they should also understand that the party has been there, and there were gentlemen agreements that were reached before they are coming, and they should also help to support that gentleman agreement, that as much as the power is in the north now, in the executive arm of government, the political arm of government also reside in the south. So it also must rotate on the same parameter.
Okay, I get you. And if I try to decipher that, talking about party leadership maybe?
Definitely, party leadership.
That would be the political. Yeah. So an ideal case scenario for you gentlemen would be power comes to the south, that is the presidency comes to the south, the party leadership goes to the north.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you very much for
Even though the constitution of the party is saying that it should be left open, but there was an agreement.
There is an agreement
that if
which
respected,
we expect to be
will bring this country more united and more prosperous.
Thank you very much. Well, it's been an interesting conversation, Mohammed Bello Mustafa and Comrade Ayodele Adewale.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for coming on the program. So that's our program today. Remember, COVID-19 is still out there, so do everything you can to observe all those protocols. See you tomorrow, God willing, for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.